Hello there guys, it's me Unstable Voltage and welcome back to episode 11 of Prison Architect. So the first thing to point out, which is something that I was trying to work out in the last 5 videos, was why I couldn't use bunk beds in cells. I have gone and had a look at that now and found out the reason for that is a cell can only contain one occupant, and bunk beds, as I rightly deduced, can only be used in holding cells and dormitories. Now, a dormitory is something that I wasn't aware of because I don't think that was in the last version of the game I played. Now, the way a dormitory works is it basically allows you to create a cell that can house multiple prisoners, which has certain advantages. So, for example, things that prisoners like to increase the value of a cell, such as, for example, a bookshelf and a television, things that make the cell a higher quality. You only need to have one of them per dormitory. Now, the downside of a dormitory is that prisoners don't really have much privacy, so you end up with lots of prisoners all together, and the fact that they don't have any privacy is generally a bad thing. But what we could do is we could build some dormitories for our low security prisoners, which we will probably do later on. The other thing that we need to do is make sure that our holding cell is only used temporarily, because we've got a lot of people sort of squashed in here. The holding cell should not be used for the long-term housing of prisoners, so that is going to cause a problem there. So we are actually over capacity by 10 prisoners at the moment, so we are going to have to build a completely new prison block, and then I might build some dormitories to get the low-sec prisoners in. So what we should probably do for the moment then is actually go ahead and reduce our intake. We've got our intake currently on 42. We have 42 prisoners. Let's go and drop that down to the moment well, technically 32 is the number of cells that we have. So let's go and drop our intake down to 32. Now we are starting to get some coin coming in, although it's going to be quite slowly, although this long-term investment should be finished relatively soon. And what I might do, with some of that money at least, is to go and research the ability to get bank loans. Because I think being able to get a bank loan will be useful for us. It'll make it a lot easier to go and get some new buildings when we are out of money. We also need to do the floor for this shower, but that isn't really a high priority right now. We would like to hire some more staff. We are down a guard because one of them did get murdered by an inmate. We haven't been able to replace them as of yet, but that is not too much of a problem. So we've only got another 4.5 hours and all of those funds will be in. We're already starting to get repairs done now because we are finally starting to get positive money. There's a random screwdriver just been found or left over there. Hopefully that gets sorted soon. Looks like the guards are having to do some work up there in the holding cell. We need this sprinkler replaced, of course. Yeah, they really don't like it being all crammed in here. I'm not seeing any problems with privacy at the moment, but yeah, we don't want to keep people in the holding cell if we can help it. It's also the closest cell to the escape route, so anyone that gets upset in here and tries to make their escape, this just makes it a lot easier for them. So we want everybody to be in cell blocks if we can help it, so that's what we're going to try and go for. So we will get that sorted. We are actually making positive money now, which is nice. We're still very, very short on money, but in less than an hour's time, we will have completed the long-term investment. We'll get $16,000. So that's certainly going to help with some things. We've now managed to go and fix the sprinkler. So I guess now we'll be working on things like the radiators and the beds and stuff like that. And there we go. We have that money. So before we do anything else and before we forget about it, it's only $500. Let's go and work on the bank loan. And that's a fairly decent amount of money that we have got in. So again, before I forget, let's go and do the floor in the shower block. And then we want to go and build this building up here. Now, we're still a little bit short of money. So how much would it cost for me to build this? 6,400. That's not terribly over budget. So let's go ahead and get that done. And ideally, we'd like to get ourselves one more guard as well. Now, we do have to save some money because we know that we want to be able to hire some armed guards once we get this building built up here. I guess we probably want... Now then, do armed guards carry cell keys? Does it tell us here? Doesn't say whether or not armed guards have cell keys, because I'd probably prefer to have a jail door. I guess a staff door would be fine. We need to wait for this to be built anyway, but let's just make sure we've got a staff door on there. So we'll have a staff door. And can we afford the paving stones? $10 per square. I mean, it's not the cheapest, but I guess we can afford it. Can't even remember where. Well, I guess we'll go all the way along. Probably spending money that I don't really need to, but there we go. We're back down again to $400, but that's fine. It won't take us long to start making a profit now. Let's go ahead and speed things back up again, because we do need this to be completed. How are things going with the forestry? We are definitely getting some trees planted. Of course, a lot of it is taking time to be done. I can't remember who it is that actually does the planting. I can't remember whether it's the gardeners or whether it is the workmen. I guess if we find one that isn't planted and we go and control and left click to make it a priority. Control left click to make high priority. Well, the gardeners are definitely the ones bringing the stuff in. He's going to be allowed through anyway by a guard. Are you going to come and plant a tree? Yeah, so it's actually the gardeners that do that. So maybe we do want to get another gardener or two. So there's a few people being searched up here. We did say we wanted to put an extra couple of doors in the canteen here. I still don't think that's a terrible idea. Let's go and slow things down a little bit now. We're up to 785. We know we definitely need to go ahead and put a brick wall in there. So let's go ahead and do that. That's going to cost us 400. So it's quite expensive to do some of this stuff. And we do want to get another door in there. So, but before we worry about that, oh, there's another Polaroid we've got. Thought we'd already seen that one before. It certainly feels like we've seen that one before. We don't have any power up here either, which is a potential problem, because we need to be able to turn the lights on. So let's go and run the power cable through here. And that costs us a bit of money. So we're back down to $25 again, but we should be able to get that loan very soon. In fact, how long until we can get that loan? It's still longer than I thought. About 7 hours, so we will have to wait on that one a little bit. Let's go ahead and speed things up. We definitely need quite a bit more money before we can get everything done. There was another Polaroid there in... Oh, we've definitely seen that one before as well. So some of these Polaroids are definitely showing up more than once. We've got a lot of people that are getting into trouble. We probably need more janitors now. Some of these offices are getting quite messy. Obviously, we did cut down the number of staff that we had because we were having major problems with cash flow. At least we are in the positives now. So that's certainly made things a little bit better. Yeah, probably really should get another gardener just so that we can get the rest of the forestry done. As you can see, some of these trees are actually already... Thought I could open those. Yes, I can. So, yeah, you can already see now that workmen are going to start coming in and chopping down the trees that are already fully built. So that's the good thing with forestry. Any zone that's marked for forestry, trees automatically get disassembled and sold. So they'll all start carrying stuff in and out. So we can do a little bit of this. We'll work on this door for them just to help them. As long as we've not got prisoners trying to get in and out here, we're generally okay. So the gardeners do the planting, and it also appears the gardeners do the hauling, actually carrying the saplings out to plant. But it's the workmen that actually chop the trees down and go and take the lumber to be exported. I could just lock these doors open, but you can guarantee the moment you turn your back, you'll end up with prisoners running out here, so we tend not to do that. So all of this wood should go out and be exported. I'm not going to sit here and manually work that door. We'll leave that for a little while. There's a lot of mess going on here. Yeah, we really do need at least, I'd say, one more janitor and another... yeah, one more janitor and another gardener. But at the same time, we also need to finish our grant, which is 2 dog handlers and 2 armed guards, and they're expensive. I mean, they're really expensive. So what we need to do under objects is we need to find, and I probably can't, I'm also aware I haven't put windows in the new cell block yet either. That's a problem that we'll need to get sorted out. So what do we need? Weapon rack. I think it's a locker that they actually need. And I'm missing it at the moment. Guard locker. So let's go in and put in 2 guard lockers, because we only need 2 guards for the time being. Obviously, we'll go and put more in as time requires it. Let's go ahead and unplan any plans that were there. We still don't have all of the electricity cable put in, but hopefully we are working on that. Now, we shouldn't need any heating in the armory, because that is a room that won't be used all that often. That room is probably way bigger than it actually needs to be. I think I really sometimes overestimate the amount of space that you need for some of these rooms, but that's fine. We need to get a door in here. That might be one of the problems. The fact that we don't actually have a door in this room means the workmen can't get in here to put a put the cable in. I'm going to put 2 doors in just so that the staff can access it from either end. And yeah, we should start making some decent money now, thanks to the forestry. It's just a bit annoying that a guard's going to constantly have to be opening and closing that door, but it means that your workmen essentially will always have something to do when you don't have something to build. It'll keep them busy, and then you're not just paying them to sit around waiting for something to happen. So that is not too bad there. So hopefully they'll go and get all this cabling installed as a priority. But we do still need to make sure we've got enough money to be able to hire those 2 guards anyway. Let's just make sure that let's go into the utilities. Yep, looks like people are doing stuff. Got a few gaps there as well for some reason. These need to be filled in. I don't know what you guys are doing, but if you wouldn't mind doing that, and in fact, while we're on utilities, let's go ahead and... or is it just... those are the only ones that need doing, apparently. There's just breaks in the cable, which is why it hasn't been done. So if you guys go and do that and get all that fixed up, then we should have power into the other building, and this room is now powered. Fantastic. So if we go and make this room into an armory, and that is going to be one of these buildings somewhere. To the armory. Indoors, weapons rack, guard locker, table. So that's going to be our armory. So it's missing a table, and it is missing weapons rack. Don't know how many weapons racks it's going to need. Because if we look on staff under armed guards, it says armed with a shotgun. Each armed guard requires his own locker in the armory. So it doesn't look like we need multiple weapons racks, but we'll probably have them anyway. So let's go ahead and get weapons racks along the back wall here. There's one weapon rack. That was 1,000 just for that. And we also need a table as well. So let's go ahead and grab a table, and that can go along in that corner. So a little bit more expenditure that probably isn't needed. I mean, there's certainly multiple weapons on a weapons rack. Looks like there's another fight going on in the canteen. Oh, we need to slow things down here. What is going on? Is this a fire? Why is everything suddenly going red here? Looks like we've got a riot going on. Let's get things into bang up. There is a... oh, mate, we've got a major riot here. Okay, how do we deal with this? We're going to need the emergency services. We are going to need to hire the riot police. We're going to get all 3 lots of them to try and deal with this riot. They will arrive hopefully relatively quickly. This is going to be quite messy. We've already got 3 deaths today. They could be guards. The riot police are arriving. So we need as many of them as possible to get in here and deal with this. You guys get over here. Let's get all the riot police in. We've got dead people. We've got unconscious people. We've got some people in here that need dealing with. People have got keys. Yeah, but the riot police will come in. These guys will get stuff sorted out. You guys need to sort of make your way up here. Most of our guards are currently unconscious. We've even lost a couple of guards. We've got a couple of dead guards as well. Looks like we've mainly got the riot dealt with. And we're 2 guards down. A lot of injured guards. Wow, that was pretty bad. Let's go ahead and turn off the bang up for now. A lot of people here are unconscious. Looks like everybody has been relatively dealt with. So let's go ahead and get rid of all of the riot police now. The riot is over. We don't need those guys to still be here. Our doctors are going to have a lot to do today. So, yeah, we definitely need to get some armed guards. And with 2 dead guards, we've certainly got some problems. We can't even currently afford to hire 2 more. Might as well go and hire 1, because I think we need every one we can get at the moment. Now, this is the thing now. Even though a guard only costs 500 to hire, we're actually using body armor now. So, technically, a guard costs 200 to hire. 600 to hire, because you have to pay for the guard, and then you have to pay once more for the body armor. Assuming that not all of my workmen are dead, what I'm going to do is dismantle these single beds here, because we can use those in the our other jail cells. And I think what we will do as well is dismantle some of the bunk beds, and we'll spread them out a little bit when the time comes, because we don't really want everybody all stuck here. So yeah, we've got a lot of people in a bad way right now. Our income's not too bad. Looks like people are now just going and getting body armor. How are we doing with that research? Can we get bank loans? We can get bank loans. And we need bank loans. So let's go into finance. Where do we take a loan from? Is it under policy or grants? Right, we can get bank loans. Let's go and get a bank loan. I mean, we can afford... Right, 2,500 is the biggest bank loan we can get. So, we definitely want to get at least 1 more guard. Take us up to the 15 that we were at before. Now, armed guards are very expensive. But we do need to still get 2 of them. So, let's start by getting 1 armed guard. So, he's got his body armor. We cannot get another one. So where are we going to want our first armed guards patrol? Well, I would say probably our first armed patrol wants to be from reception out into this area. And it needs to go probably up to and into the canteen at some point. That's probably our first armed patrol. So let's make sure we've got an armed guard patrolling that. Now we haven't got it on free fire, so we can't use lethal force. Snipers will no longer fire warning shots before taking a target down. So we've still got a lot of bad stuff going on here. We've still lost a lot of people, but stuff will get done. So what we need to do now as well is just go and install the rest of those bunk beds. So we want 1 there and 1 there. We've still got plenty of space, but we really do need to make sure that... I can't believe we've just got 2 dead guards here. We probably should do a shakedown quite soon as well, because there'll most likely be a lot of batons and guard keys and things like that were picked up. And all these guards are resting. As soon as they finish resting, they should come and start moving some of these prisoners to their cells, because the whole thing really was just one gigantic mess. A lot of people very tired. Here come the guards now. They're all sort of resting up. They're going to start moving people back to their cells, or taking them down to the infirmary, or doing whatever they need to do with them. So that is good. So we do need to get another armed guard. Again, we're still a little bit light on money for the time being. We also need 2 dog handlers as well. So assuming we wanted to hire a dog handler. Yeah, dog handlers cost 500 plus 150 per day. And we'll get that done soon enough as well. And then I think what we might do is get our armed guard. Oh, we've got another incident going on over here somewhere. Yeah, we've already found somebody who was carrying something they shouldn't be. Like I said, this is always the problem with a riot. There's always a bit of an aftermath where they've picked something up. And, you know, that's bad for us as a prison. We've had quite a lot of deaths. If we go ahead and look at the reports here. Apparently we can take another grant. I'd forgotten about that completely. Let's go and pause things up and see what else is available here. So visitation rights, now that's something that we definitely need to get. It's a lot of things to build for a relatively small amount of money because we need the visitation room, we need a common room as well, and we need the phone booths. And I prefer not to do the phone booths until we've got the security office so we can tap the phones. Prison manufacturing, inmate nutrition, crackdown on drugs. Find 10 illegal narcotics and get 15,000. Do you know what? That's probably not all that difficult to do. Remove any supply of stolen tools and stolen weapons. Do you know what? We can do that quite easily because all we need to do is go and do a shakedown, which we need to do anyway, really. So that'd give us quite a bit more money. With most of the people not already in their cells, it's probably not a bad time to do it. So let's go ahead and start doing that shakedown. It's a shame we couldn't do the other one at the same time to find the 10 lots of drugs, but I still think we've got... there probably isn't 10 around. So as you can see, we found a couple of clipboards. We've found 5 sets of jail keys. We found 9 batons. So these things get picked up very, very quickly. There's a third clipboard. I'm not too sure what clipboards do. They probably have things on them like guard schedules and things like that, but it just shows you how quickly things do get found. And people need to have a good eye kept on them because, you know, apparently they can't be trusted. But as soon as all this is done and we've cleared up all the weapons, we should get an instant sort of $20,000, which we can use to hire a few more guards. I still think we need another gardener because a lot of these trees are still waiting to get planted. And they will pay for themselves. And again, we do need to try and get more cells built because our capacity is still very low at the moment. So this is going to be our surveillance room. We can go ahead and get that queued up because it doesn't actually cost us anything just to assign the room. We can actually get a morgue as well. Yeah, we're probably going to need to get one of those at some point. Security room. So requires an office desk, a chair, and a filing cabinet. Offices for your officers. I think that's the one that we need. Still finding poison. Let's just go and double check. Let's look for objects. Is it under utilities? CCTV. Oh, you require surveillance. Door control system. Built in a security room. Yeah, so it is a security room that we need. That's what I was trying to establish. Let's go ahead and put that back on play then. So we need to get ourselves a security room. So the room is technically already built. There's kennels where your dogs live. Needs to be surrounded by walls and doors, but doesn't need to be indoors, that one. So we could just build it with wire fences, really. So let's go ahead and get the security room. So this is going to be the security room. It is quite large, but you will need a lot of space in there at some point. We'll leave that as it is. Don't want to start building anything there because, one, we're quite busy, and two, we don't want to get into a situation where we've given ourselves even more boxes and things to search. So we've now found 3 lots of poison. We've even found an electric drill. Found another pair of scissors over there, so that makes... how many pairs of scissors have we found now? 4 pairs of scissors. So see, a lot of these prisoners are going to be very, very, very unhappy because they're all waiting to be escorted to places, but it's just quite slow doing the searches when you have a shakedown going on. Let's go ahead and speed things up. Hopefully we won't have too many problems going on while all of these prisoners are getting sorted. Now that we do have at least 1 armed guard, it's going to make things a little bit better. I guess the clipboard probably also tells them when staff rotation changeovers occur, because obviously that's quite bad when you've got people on patrol and they have to go and take a rest. There's probably a little bit of a gap where nobody's patrolling that route. Come on, there's only 16 places left to search, so if you could go and get that done, that would be fantastic. Would be nice to get that extra money. There we go, we've just found another police baton. That makes 10. What are we up to now? 15 more places to search. Why is it taking you all so long to get it done? I see one just happening there in the kitchen, searching a box. Hopefully get this done nice and quickly. I mean, we could just literally lock everybody up for a while until it's all sorted, but I don't think things are going to be too bad. Not too sure where we've still got left to search. Looks like our power is almost at capacity. We're certainly going to have to think about building more power. Still need to get the rest of these trees planted. We're only on 13 places left to search. And come on, guys, what are you doing? We found a hammer. Oh, you're all searching out here in the crates with the trees in, I guess. Yeah, that's a little bit problematic. At least it's night time now, so most of the prisoners are going to be in their cells. So it does make it a little bit easier for the guards to get around and search all of these places. Still 12 places left to search, and they're taking an unusually long time to do that. So we need to think about building ourselves a kennel. And we could go ahead and do that, because like I said, it can be outdoors, the kennel can. We could build the kennel over on this side of the staff room. Starting to try and think where I should build my visitation room. I'm thinking maybe down here at the bottom, but I haven't quite decided on that yet. And for the kennel, of course, we can just, as I said, use walls, because it doesn't have to be outdoors. Sorry, it doesn't have to be indoors, technically, and that is probably more than enough room. So if we just go and... we don't really have the materials, but it will need doing, so we're just going to go ahead and brick wall this area in here. I know we still need another armed guard. I am conscious of that. And we want a door in there. And of course we will want to improve the path. The reason you want the path, not only does it look better, but you actually you can actually move more quickly on you can actually move more quickly on path than you can on sort of normal ground. So let's go ahead and remove the planning there. And we've still got 8 places left to search. We really are taking our time getting that done. Everybody's really busy though, that's the problem. We've still got these 2 crates of trees down here that need to get sorted, because this shakedown is basically going on forever right now. And we still don't have enough money to be able to hire the next guard that we need. We'll be able to the moment that we finish this shakedown. The moment this shakedown is done, we should actually have enough money to be able to go and finish that other one there. So this is going to be the kennel. So let's go and make that a kennel. Now that will require dog crates. But let's make sure we get the armed guard first, then we'll worry about doing the kennels. So I guess you need 1 dog crate for each dog. We'll be able to get some snipers, we need to get a lawyer. There's so much stuff that we just need to get done. 6 places left to search. Come on guys, you're doing a fantastic job, but if you could just do it a little bit quicker. We've got, are you being released? I hope he was just released. It didn't say there was an escape attempt, but somebody did just leave. What have we got here? Valuation. No escapes in the last 24 hours. No deaths in the last 24 hours. We could sell some of our shares. Sell 10% for 15,000. But no, I don't think we're going to worry about selling any shares yet. Remove the supply of stolen tools. Remove the supply of stolen weapons. Following a number of incidents in prisons involving stolen items, the group is performing studies on the distribution of tools and weapons throughout the prisons. This part of the trial involves trying to remove all such items from your prison population. So we've just done a shakedown. How come that didn't get completed? Looks like there's something down there that still hasn't been searched. Even though the shakedown did apparently complete. That's a little bit strange there. We've already just found some more tools. So that's now taking up one of our grant slots, and I'm not sure why, because surely a shakedown is exactly what we need to do to get rid of that. So we need to get this one sorted. Okay, we've got enough money now to get our next armed guard. So let's go and get that one fixed. So armed guard, let's go and drop you out there. So we have an armed guard. Now we need to give you a patrol route. Now yours is going to be quite a long patrol route, unfortunately. But our armed patrol is going to be through the cells, basically. Yeah, it's going to be a very long route, but at least you will eventually, if there is any trouble, you will run into it. So let's go ahead and assign an armed guard to those two cell blocks as well. And the kennel's not done yet, but we will need to get ourselves some dog crates. So objects, we want dog crates. And you are where? Dog crates cost only 100, so that's not too bad. Which way around are you? It's difficult to tell. Let's assume that you start facing south, because I can't really tell by looking at them from there. They look a little bit weird. But here's two dog crates coming in. So that should mean that the kennel is now a kennel. So what we should be able to do now is go and hire two dog handlers as soon as we've got enough money to be able to hire two dog handlers, that is. Yeah, still, there's no progress here to telling us how we can do this. This part of the trial involves trying to remove all such items from your prison population. Remove the supply of stolen tools and remove the supply of stolen weaponry. I thought that is what we did with the shakedown. But now I'm not so sure anymore. So we can hire a dog handler. So let's go ahead and get the first one. So it's going to cost us 500 plus 150 per day. So there is our dog handler. Comes with a free doggy, which is good. I do believe you can... I thought you used to be able to get the dogs separately, but there we go. We've got one dog handler. And we need to give you a deployment route. So our dog patrol is going to be, once again, from reception. We are going to go through into the dining room. And that's probably all we want for that dog patrol there. So we need one more dog patrol, and you'll probably make sure everybody is behaving themselves, hopefully. What have we got going on now? More trees. We'll start making a lot of money from exports. There's a little bit of wood there, but not a huge amount. We still need to get the rest of the fencing finished. There's still loads of trees out here that haven't been planted, but there's also quite a lot that's growing, which is very nice. Soon as we can afford to get one more dog patrol, then we are done. But that was a rather lengthy episode. I'd completely forgotten. I just hadn't been looking at the time. I could split this up into smaller ones, but I think I'll just do it as a half-an-hour episode. So thanks a lot for watching, guys. I hope you are still enjoying Prison Architect. I'll see you on the next video. And until then, goodbye for now.